technique that we had with Maria T. Rothenberger on Monday. So that was good.
Honestly, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I mean, how could
not
you?
because it's forgettable,
I mean, that
but
was
just there's so much going on.
Yeah, I mean, we've had so many different techniques that we've been doing with different guests, and over the last couple of weeks, I've been making omnibus shows of this show, taking out the real important bits like the techniques and a couple of sort of key things that people have said and shared, and I've been making them into omnibuses, so they've been fresh on my mind. And so Maria's is going in, Sadhu Das with the hands there, and also Joe Delaney, Dr. Joe Delaney, he's Cradling the Sacred Child. So it's all been coming up,
and another one to come from yesterday with Tasha as well.
Exactly.
Tasha speak to you yesterday.
That
Tasha.
Was so good, wasn't it? And Tasha's agreed to have a kind of weekly-ish show with us going forward. We've got Tom back next Monday as well. So we're really, what have I been doing in the last couple of days, I guess, is sort of catching up from the start of the show and kind of feeding it into our life, or my life. The great thing is I've woken up feeling really refreshed for the first time in months.
Really?
Wow, okay. I kind of bounced out of bed this morning. Like? It feels flipping awesome. Right. It feels so good. It feels like it's been such a long time. I actually said to you,
sorted the mouse out as well. It's funny, isn't it? As soon as we go on air, what the mouse that was working, I think you're.
But I've got it sorted. It's all cool. And look, we're joined by our good friend Mother Mulberry.
Hi, Mother Mulberry.
Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. It's interesting because this week as well, I've not shared it to my astrology channel, but shared it to my interviews channel, and it's going to your significant channels.
I just put it out onto my Come Back to Life channel.
Excellent.
Yes, as well. So if you're watching for the first time, do get in touch and say hi. Nigel Henry did just recently.
Yeah.
Well, he's an old friend, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got a lovely bit of feedback.
Yeah. Let's share it. Actually, it's so nice. For me, 5 years on, I love to hear the sounds of them both. When I'm away in the Algarve, I use them for my updates and my second home. When I'm there, it is to catch up with friends and life. They are my Portuguese sunshine. Isn't that nice?
365 days, not 300 days for you.
That's so nice. So I have to say, I did miss doing these shows, although
you kept coming in whilst I was doing them. Just you weren't entirely separated from the process.
No, definitely not. But it's nice to be back, like sat next to you, because to me this just feels like us hanging out and having fun.
Yes, and the reason I mentioned the light-hearted live stream, which is one of our catchphrases, isn't it, or our strap lines for the show, is to check in with you and to see if you are indeed feeling light-hearted. It's all very well to call the show the light-hearted live stream, but if you're not feeling like that at the moment, let's see what we can do about that in the next 30 minutes.
It's funny that you say that, because light-hearted daily live stream, if it's not feeling lighthearted, you don't do it. Well, I haven't really posted anything significant to my Feel Good Astrology channel because since early December it's felt quite heavy on me. Not that I'm falling out with astrology, but if I'm talking about Feel Good Astrology and I'm not feeling it myself, so I've been going through a very similar process. Mother Mulberry saying wind blew so crazy yesterday, I almost landed in Oz.
Wow, okay, what's happening there? Is that unusual? Or is that quite normal for your time of the year? Yeah, so do let us know. Are you, and one might say there are many reasons at the moment to not be lighthearted, and it's important to us here that if that is the case, if you have been affected by the mind virus or whatever you might want to call it, if any unhappiness has come into your realm, this is a place to say that and see what we can do about that with a coming into the moment ritual or process. We would like to have you reunited. Is that a mission or a vision for this show, to have people united with their true, authentic and brilliant selves? I'm going to declare it as such now.
I think that's a really nice
Otherwise,
way to put
what's
it.
the point?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, what is the point of us kind of meeting every day and hanging out with you in cyberspace?
Talking about having a moment if we don't have a moment. So should we give that a go now? Let's say hi to Siri as well. That was a great moment when Siri was on.
It was. It's fantastic.
Somewhat unusual, but Siri is.
Yes. Unusual. I wonder if she's got her paintbrushes tucked behind her ears.
Right. So if you will, feel the weight of your body on the chair.
Going there right now.
And you say you're such, I don't know what the word was that you used, unorthodox in your meditation.
Unusual.
You are meditative and reflective, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I, you know, without wanting to get into a debate about what meditation is, it certainly seems useful to see it or try it on as a way of having a look at what's going on. Like, where are you right now is a useful question.
Yeah.
And I have another useful question to put to you after we've perhaps connected with ourselves and with our senses here. I've got another useful and interesting question for you. So if it helps, breathe out first rather than taking a big deep breath in, but just breathe out more purposefully and consciously. And empty yourself of the it's an unusual thing, isn't it? Most meditations, or you know, and also while I'm talking, keep breathing. Don't wait for me to say and stop, because that could be really uncomfortable. But I just want to have a little bit of an emphasis wherever you are in your breathing cycle or awareness, to see the breath going out, emphasize the out breath, with the idea of expelling the old and the stale, and allowing your body to sort of maybe crumple a little bit, to empty the lungs and bring the diaphragm up. And then you can bellows in a little bit, but don't hyperventilate. It's just a way. The important thing is not some sort of physical feat or some athletic activity here. It's about being very conscious of what's going on with the breathing, or more and more increasingly conscious of what's going on in the breathing in this moment right now as we're doing it. So out, and then a nice conscious and aware in, which I suspect just in its own right is a little bit of a state changer, and then allow the body to get into its own natural breathing rhythm, with the added awareness of your consciousness in terms of the question, where are you right now? Perhaps you could be a little bit in your breathing, or a lot, depending on how well you can manage that. And just, where are you right now? Well, you might be aware of the breath coming in and out of your body. And what's wrong with that? You might be aware of the clothes on your skin as well. I am. I've got a bit of a tight pulley on today and a crew neck that I can actually feel. And these are the things that you might not take any notice of throughout a whole day. 8, 10, 12 hours, 16 hours of wearing clothes, but not being at all aware of them on your skin. They're just very functional things, aren't they? Clothes and useful things. And in this moment of increased and expanded awareness, maybe feel the socks on your feet, the trousers or whatever clothing you're wearing on your legs, and the shirt on your back, literally, metaphorically. Just anything where you can actually be in your senses right now, in the sense of touch, and that works with the breathing as well. Are you pulsing my leg as a special sign, or what's that for?
Making sure you didn't drift off.
I wasn't. Did you think I was?
Yeah, I was right there. I was already like in the moment.
And you're saying, get on.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I'm just wondering, is that some sort of technique you've learned? Like, if
ever you see my hand go over to his leg and twist,
I saw it's really
get
good.
On with it.
Sure, on Instagram, you pulse your leg, and it's a special pulse at a certain frequency which delivers a Reiki blessing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I did actually see something.
I'll take my cue to stop.
I did actually see something a couple of days ago about like clapping and touching your fingers together.
Is that what you did?
So many times, like 9 times. And so when I was in the sauna the other day,
when I was in the sauna the other day, yeah.
I was clapping my hands together 9 times, and then I did 9 lots of 9. So when I did 9 times, I did feel some kind of sort of experience. But when I did 81, like 9 sets of 9, boy, did I feel something really tingle and come alive. It's
a bit like the shaking you were talking about the other day.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something else I've been doing over this last week. Is a lot of shaking, a lot of clapping, tapping, and also listening to Dane here I've been listening to his Restoring Hope series, and it's fantastic.
So you're so over this Chiron return thing now.
Yeah. I just feel really released. I feel very. I'm really pleased. Since Christmas, I've taken a lot of time for myself to sit and mull things over, and then just, notice what's coming up. And then as it comes up, say, that's interesting. Maybe writing things down, chatting with Carl and stuff. But I've not been rushing, and it feels really good.
Excellent. Okay, so that question was, where are you right now?
So I'm just feeling raring to go. I'm in a completely different. Yeah, like this morning when you just finished your morning show, I came down and I kind of danced into the room and went, "I'm back."
Yes.
Hello.
Yes,
I found myself. I'm feeling great again.
Yes.
I feel back to normal.
And where was yourself? Where had you left it?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, it's like it's like I couldn't quite tap into it.
The language is
it is.
Isn't it? I lost myself and I found myself. So where had it been all this time?
It's obviously I work more as a channel than anything else, and I couldn't feel or connect in to the source that I am normally connected to. I felt kind of like cut off. It's like my power had gone.
Where though?
I don't know. I was aware that I still had it within me, but I couldn't turn it on. I couldn't switch it on. It's like something had gone dead. Like when sometimes when we're trying to start our car, yes. We've got this really insanely old car that's older than
all our children.
Yeah. It's older than, it's way older than
older than you. Not many cars as old as me, but
it's definitely not as old as me. But I mean, it's in its like mid-20s, isn't it? It's really old, really rusty. But it moves, and it's perfect for kids because kids destroy cars anyway. So,
and if you're ever hungry, there's always something on the back seat. Isn't it? Anyway, sorry, Karen. So you're having trouble starting your spiritual car.
So sometimes, when we start our car, we have to, we actually do say to our kids, right, everyone, we need to just visualize us going to this place right now, and we do, and then Carl does it again, and then the car does start. So we're
new age chitty bang bang, isn't it?
It is very much like that when we're going shopping.
Fine for offended friend. Okay, everybody sing. Right, but you were making. Sorry, I just.
So anyway, that's how it felt.
So you were turning over the vehicle and nothing was happening.
Yeah, I was trying to get up in the morning, and I just couldn't connect. And so, when I do my astrology videos, I work from my own what they called slides. And I use them because I'm a bit, as Carl says, I'm a bit ADD.
I don't say that. No, I don't. I keep just sending you videos that I see of
about
other people
living with ADHD. And with a comment like, "That's so you."
I've not made an official diagnosis, however.
So anyway, I always work from slides, and I've created a couple of sets of slides. Sorry, that's bad, isn't it?
Beautiful sound effect.
It's a gorgeous sound effect, me pouring water. I've created slides, and I've sat down to record, and that's what I normally do. I sit there, press record, open my mouth.
Now it flows through.
It flows.
Yeah.
And I've done that a couple of times, and it just hasn't. So I just thought, okay, well, it's time to wait. And I think, we are going through change. There's a lot of people that don't know what's going on right now. And I really feel like this kind of pressure of, it's time to help if I can, be of service if I can. And yet I haven't been able to. So,
well, hence our banner here. What are the signals to you that you're in a period of change, not being able to channel new reality?
But today I feel like I'm as Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks might say, I feel like I'm tuned in, turned on, tapped in, whatever she says.
Tuned in, yes.
I feel like that has, it engaged again.
Okay, so that answers the two big questions today. Where are you right now? And hopefully the little process we went through has had you be more here, more present, more conscious, if you like. And it's not.
Well, how are you? I mean, where are you today?
I'm feeling great. The sunshine always helps me, doesn't it? So we've been sat out in the sun this morning, just before our midday time slot here on New Reality TV, and it's been lovely to sit in the sun and chat. And I'm more present to answer your question with another question is what really matters.
Yes,
and
good question.
That's a question I'd like to share. So now we may have moved on from, where are you right now? As in, what are you looking at? What are you aware of? What's present for you? the next question that might be there or might be useful to consider in relation to what's there for you right now is what really matters. And I think I don't know if that does describe the process you've been going through in the last few days of, trying to reconnect with what really matters. Because we know what that feels like, don't we? We might not know how to do it, but when it comes to the question of what really matters, when we're there, we definitely know it. We might not know what it is this side of that and trying to get there, but once we've got there, we know, oh yeah, this is it. You're back in your groove. When is how you described it.
That's a good question, because like how my funk started in December, or actually it's been a sort of ongoing, and around December time it takes a bit of a dip. So I think the time of the year and the amount of available daylight might affect me a bit, but because it does seem quite a consistent pattern with me. But what matters is I have this overwhelming sense of wanting to help. And if I know that somebody's not feeling that great, because I'm naturally quite bouncy, I want to, I'm like a bit like a Labrador. I want to be there. I want to be supporting and
eating socks and snacking all the time.
Yes. And and maybe not listening to their owner.
Right, okay.
But I do want to kind of be of assistance if I can.
Yes.
And I think coming up to Christmas and around that time, I was also thinking, I'm also earning a living, and how can I make that more effective? And of course, once I started thinking in terms of how can I combine the two a bit more effectively, a bit more gracefully, that took me off my purpose.
Can I push you a bit further on the question?
Go on.
Maybe if
we should see what's going on here.
Yeah, but I'd like to come back to that.
Sure. So Siri's getting a warm hand clap or a wave. Hi, Mother Mulberry from Siri. I started tapping just for fun and love the rhythm of it all. Yeah, I do too.
We're not talking about EFT here. We're talking about actual sort of rhythmic tapping.
Well, it could be both.
Yeah.
I've been doing a bit of this as well.
That's another way of describing it.
A spicy brain.
Spicy brain, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And
me too, by the way.
Yeah, you're definitely there.
It's just easier to see in other people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Changes indeed are big at the now. I like that, at the now. The painting has stopped, actually. Okay.
So Siri's feeling similarly.
All right. So isn't this interesting that what seems most fundamental to people is being paused or let go of, which to me suggests or can bring further insight to this question of what really matters. Now, you said being of assistance.
Yeah.
What is that though? What's underneath that? Because does
you're going with the big questions today, aren't you?
Absolutely. Why not? Why not?
Okay.
So why is that important? Like, as in really important for you to help people? What gets met?
Okay.
What occurs for you in that process?
Okay. And in answering this, I'm going to take it away from me as well, because obviously to answer this,
uncomfortable spotlight.
Well, yeah, it's a bit uncomfortable, but I have this theory, and I believe you share it. In fact, you might have shared it with me first, and I thought, yeah, that's so true. I'm going to run with that. But the idea that we do what we actually need, and so I recognized it took me a lot of my life to get comfortable with being an intuitive and feeling like an outsider. And that's pretty much how I've always felt on the outside, and always felt like I didn't really fit in. And so anything I can do to help people make sense of that, make peace with that, I want to help, because it's really difficult, because it's not something like you don't really like. Okay, you do see some films now, and some of the heroes are a bit quirky, a little bit different, a little bit antisocial, a little bit weird looking maybe, or whatever. But pretty much our whole lives, it's been the popular, usual looking, narrative following. The world has been made in a particular way to really support the typical.
Yes.
And I guess I really feel for anyone who doesn't feel very typical. And it's taken me a long time to get comfortable with just being myself. Arguably, I'm not that good at it, because I could always be a lot more myself. but I want to help people realize that they are okay the way they are.
And so is that what's really important?
Yeah, I'm doing it for myself, really.
Well,
I'm learning about myself.
I'm not meaning for this to sound or be like an inquisition.
No, it's fine.
It's an inquiry more than an inquisition, and it's a general question for me, for you, and anybody who might want to go on that sort of philosophical inquiry. Because
there are types of people, aren't there?
Well, I just think it's so important right now when our it seems like the human mind space and the media and politics are a very good reflection of the human mind and all its volatility, and that's reaching quite crazy proportions at the moment. So there are a lot of temptations to be pulled somewhere else outside of yourself. That's why I think grounding, meditating, however you do it, but getting in touch with your own senses is really important at the moment. So that's like a sense of reality. And then whilst we're in a time where we're being told or it's being implied what's important, and you should be talking about this, you should be thinking about this, you should have a view on this, I'm questioning that, because is that true? Is it true that we should be focused on and making something important that is X, Y, or Z that's been decided by somebody else? Or might that be an opportunity to come back to what's really important for us? And you went straight to the work you're doing to be more yourself by helping other people to be themselves. And what I also got from that was a sense of peace that comes from that. You know, the overwhelming energy of not fitting in is stress, isn't it? If you've lived your young life as a person who thinks they don't fit in, the presumably the result of finding a way of expressing yourself in your authenticity is an absence of that stress.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you can imagine, I went to a technical grammar school, like mathematical grammar school, in the UK, and I wanted to do art and design. I managed to do art and design as an A-level, but I wanted to do the history of art. I did.
That went down well, didn't it?
Well, there was no one else doing it, so I couldn't do it. I wanted to do classics because I was fascinated by the stories, and of course they play into the planets. I was already interested in astrology and studying it on the side, but again, I was the only one that wanted to do classics, so I couldn't do that. So I settled with philosophy and religion, religious studies, which was perfect. But you know, there was nothing really there to sort of light me up, you know, and so many people are really happy to go with the subjects that they think are going to get them the right job and this, that, and the other. But for me, my whole life has been about how can I enjoy myself? How can I learn?
Example. Yeah. That agenda is what's important to somebody else, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're learning. You're being told what's important from a very early age.
So you'll learn. Yeah.
And that might not be important to you.
I think if you're also quite flexible and quite amenable, it's very easy to not know what your core values are, because you very easily merge and flex with everyone else, and before you know it, you've picked up a whole load of values and behaviors that might not belong to you,
not your own.
They're not your own. So anything I can do to help people free themselves up a bit and to tune into what's really right for them, that's what I
mean. You know, when I say what's really important, I mean what's right for you.
I try to help people feel at home in themselves. I think that's the most important thing. And it's so funny because, you know, I go through moments of wondering who I am.
Well, I too.
But I think that's quite normal. I mean, what do you do? Like I think you draw community around you, don't you?
Yeah, but that's a means to an end. You know, that's what it looks like. But actually, what's important to me is for people to be free of their unhappiness. So, and again, you know, like you, that comes from a sort of fixation or a sense that something needed to be fixed in earlier life, which brings you full circle to the fact that nothing really needs to be fixed, or that's quite a cumbersome way of going about things. Just the being free of unhappiness, being who we really are, is such a beautiful thing. And I think that eventually that's what people see as being really important. It's there in our culture, isn't it? The hero's journeys seem to come back to that point until another journey begins. But we do have that as our compass point, don't we? To be light, free, true, authentic. These wonderful words that allude to a state of freedom and peace and well-being. And I think ultimately that's what we're all engaged in. Let's see if Siri and Mother Mulberry's Tea Club agree with us.
So Siri saying, hang on. Oh gosh, what's going on with our new mouse? Oops.
You can use the other one that you've thoughtfully incorporated.
Siri saying, and having space to be and to do what is fun is the most important. Having a break from it is giving the brain and mind a peaceful pause. Yeah. And that's so rewarding after it's over. I love that.
You haven't been alone then, have you?
Definitely not. And actually, something else that comes up is I always think if it's not flowing and if it's pausing, there's usually a reason. And I know I used to do all of my work on time, and say, okay, I'll get this done for this date. But in recent years, I've said I'll get it done in this kind of time frame. And I have to wait for that moment where I know it's right. And usually something kind of drops into my consciousness beforehand. So if lots of other people are feeling this kind of pause right now, I think there are some big cosmic worldwide things coming in to drop into place. And I'm pretty sure that once they drop in, it's going to be boom, now we go.
Oh, I see. What immediately came to mind for me is a ferry crossing. When everyone's being marshaled into little parking spaces.
Yeah, I hate that.
Until the ferry. Yeah, but then the ferry's ready to go, isn't it? And there's a grand plan of the cars going onto the ferry.
There is, and you have to wait for that last car.
And off we go, and it's and it's just a lovely feeling that everything's right.
Everything is slotted into place.
Yes, and off we go.
Yeah, because we're if we're to believe that we are co-creators, we're co-creating together. Like you and I, we were both single. We both separated from our previous long-term relationships in the same year, but we'd yet to meet because there were other pieces of the puzzle coming in, and all of a sudden, years later, everything slotted into place. But it's hindsight's such a beautiful thing, isn't it? Yeah. So Mother Mulberry saying, it's so funny your history and art interest align with Taylor, one of my characters. She's a fashion historian. She sounds great. Nothing fashionable about me though, but I do like studying patterns. Oh, my life has been a big lesson on divine timing since 2016.
How's that been, Mother Mulberry's Tea Club? Because that's, I think, possibly a big lesson for a lot of people at the moment, is like what feels to our more limited self having to wait. I can't, but I need this to happen. I've got bills to pay. All of these worldly concerns seem to amplify, don't they, in the face of having lessons around divine timing and allowing things to be and allowing ourselves to be. This is perhaps a conversation we'll continue tomorrow. Yeah,
because divine timing is
divine timing is upon us.
Yeah.
As we say goodbye to you today. But thank you for joining us, and we'll be back again tomorrow, midday our time, for another moment with the Munsons on New Reality TV.
Yep. Lots and lots of love to you, and catch you another time. Bye for now.